Good evening, friends and family. Today we did towing this morning, first thing in the morning. It was by winch, and we winched into the air, just like a sailplane would. It's like pulling a kite and running, and just keep running and keep running and keep running. That's basically what the winch was. And then they stop winching you, and then you come back down. I think that the towing, the objective for the student is to get a feel for what it's like to leave the ground, be in the air, and then come back to the ground. We did do, yesterday I failed to mention that we did tandem flights. So there's a two-seater powered paraglider, and it's a trike. So it has 3 wheels, and the front wheel is movable by foot. And the student sits in the front, and the instructor sits in the back. They pass the controls, and they say, "Okay, you steer. Do 100 degrees to the left, 100 degrees to the right, and so forth." So that was everyone's. Well, I wouldn't say everyone's. That was most of the students' first time in the air with a powered paramotor, and in many respects, first flight in anything smaller than a passenger airliner. So from the student's perspective is kiting the wing successfully into a launch that's done by the winch, and then flaring the glider at the last moment in order to reduce speed. So when you're coming back down to the ground, the energy of the glide path as you're coming back down to the ground can be transferred from a forward motion to an up and to the rear motion. So when you're in forward flight, you're falling approximately 3 feet per second, which is, it's a decent clip, but it's not very fast. So if you don't flare, it's not the end of the world. You'll stumble and fall somewhat, but or just kind of land hard and walk it out. But flaring, you pull the brakes down, the back of the wing catches air, and it falls behind you, and it becomes more parachute-like. So not only is it reducing your descent, but it also slows your forward momentum. So it just makes getting on the ground much better. So from the student's perspective, these are what you're trying to accomplish. I think from the instructor's perspective, they want to see that once you get into the air, you'll still follow commands. You won't space out or focus on something that is less important than getting back down to the ground successfully. So I'll cut those flights from me in here.
Beautiful. Keep on coming. Keep on coming. That's perfect. Just keep it coming. Keep it coming. There you go. Keep on coming. Release. Perfect. Just add a little bit of left pressure and step right. There you go. Hands back up. Now keep on running. Add some pressure. Pressure. Keep on running. Pressure. That's perfect. Good job, James. Hands back up. And you're going to aim for Fletch. Just a touch of pressure. All right, Fletch. Good job, James. All right, Fletch. Good job, James. Mike's going to come off the power now. Just keep that right hand pressure just 1 inch right. Just hold that 1 inch right. And just keep holding it. Now we're going to just let it ride in. 1 foot in front of the other. I'm just going to wait. Pressure. Hold all the way down. Perfect. Keep it coming. Perfect. Keep it coming. There you go. Keep on coming. Keep coming. Release. There you go. Little step right, pull left. There you go. Keep running. Keep running. Pressure, balance equal. Hands back up. That's good. There you're good. You're good. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. That's good. We're going to wait. A little bit of right pressure right now. Right pressure and hold. Hands back up. Fletch. Okay, so we're just going to let it glide in. I said 1 inch right. Mine's coming off the power. That's beautiful. Keep it coming. Very nice. Very nice. Keep it coming. There you go. Release. Perfect. Keep on running. Keep on running. Add some pressure. There you go. Keep on running. Keep on running. Hands back up. You're a little deep. Hands up. There you go. Just let it fly for a second. There you go. A little bit. That's perfect. Hands back up. Shut All right, James, looking great. Can you add 2 inches of right pressure for me? Good. And hold. And Mike can come off the power now. Beautiful. Hands back up. A little bit more right pressure. Hold that for a second. Hold it. Hold it. And hands back up. We're just going to wait. Wait. Pressure. Pressure. All the way down. All the way down. Perfect.
One other thing you'll notice on my flights is that I keep running after leaving the ground, and that's something that they hammer into us because one of the most common incidents, I wouldn't call an accident, incidents that happen when learning to power paraglide is that students will either try to jump into the air at the last moment, which is bad because the glider continues to stay inflated as long as there's something pulling down on it. So if you jump, it kind of, the glider doesn't collapse, but it kind of loses its rigidity a little bit. And so not only are you not going to continue to go into the air because the glider's lifting you into the air, and now it's not lifting anymore because it's kind of coming together slack, but you know, now it wants to come down with you, so it's completely counterintuitive to jump. So they want us to continue running. The other reason is that there are a number of reasons why you won't continue your ascent. It could be that you catch a wind just the right way. Maybe you're in a downdraft, so winds that are going from the air to the ground, or maybe there's, you know, lots of reasons why you don't just get to go straight into the air like you think you will. So they want us to continue moving our feet to show that we are concentrating on making sure that if we were not to leave the ground, that we're prepared to continue running. So after towing, I came back and did the day 3 video, and then the ground school for today was maintenance for the motor and also an in-depth detail on how and why 2-stroke engines work, how to maintain them, what are the important things to look out for, and what are the things that you should do on a regular basis to prevent any kind of issues. These engines are high performance custom engines, motors, and they regularly get up to and run at 8,600 rotations per minute. So it's really important to have a proper working order machine. After that, the weather was inclement for any other activities outdoors, so they called it. As for myself, the things that I found most challenging so far overall has been sleeping. The last 2 nights I went to bed at 9:30 and then stared at the ceiling for 3 hours. I was tired. I did took a shower, whole 9 yards, went to bed, and just couldn't go to sleep. So today at lunch I also had a hard time taking a nap. So I don't know what the deal is. I had no caffeine today, so I'm hoping that tonight I'll get some sleep. As far as my biggest concern coming in with my physical ability, I think that it hasn't been so bad for 2 reasons. Number one, we've only had 1 evening that we've done something, and it's day 4. So that's 1 night out of the 4 that we did something twice in 1 day. So it hasn't been bad in that regard. But it also, I think that myself and also everyone in the class seems to be picking up on things quite quickly. I think most of the strenuous activities come from having to do things over and over and over and over again because maybe you're just not succeeding. But I'm succeeding, and everyone in the class is also succeeding. We have a young, fit class. The instructors say that it's fairly rare that everyone is young and fit and are taking instruction very well. So everyone's doing pretty good, and it's been a really good experience so far. All right, well, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow.